fair, when I came here, I did not intend to live here.
I went a really like headstrong decision of being good and cooking. YouTube, how do you change a light bulb? Alrighty.
We're in Panel today.
Yes, a little bit
It's very
of change.
The view on the other side is prettier.
Yeah, I wish we had the bench the other side, but that's
Beggars can't be
okay.
choosers.
Hey, this is a great place to be.
Speaking of great places to be.
That's a topic. Not that. You need to introduce the topic. That's exactly what I was going. Fine. I told you today. Anyway, speaking of great places to be,
We obviously live in New Zealand right now. We decided to move our lives away from where we grew up. How do you feel about that? How long was it?
it's going to be 9 years in 2 months.
9 years. For me, I think it was 12 years in February this year. So 12 years.
You know the funny thing? We're just 3 years, like you're 3 years older to me. So we both basically moved.
At the same age?
Yeah.
22?
Yeah.
22, 23.
Yeah, I just turned 20.
Yeah, same. I turned 22
Here, right?
here, but I moved, I came here a week before my birthday. But basically,
I
So-
came 2 weeks after my birthday. That's not true.
same. What caused you, or what made you decide to move places? What made you decide that our home country just was not doing it for you? Heavy questions.
Okay.
You clearly do not know how to string one coherent sentence together.
Heavy, and I, at the risk of being cancelled. No. I feel like since maybe, okay, when I was 12, 13, all you spoke about at that time, and I'm talking 2006, 7, was the States. And like everyone I knew was either going to the UK or the US to study. And I just knew that even when I was 12 or 13, the way I would think would be very different to, I guess, most of my peers, my family. At that age, back when I was 12 or 13, I remember asking my mom, saying that a lot of women who work talk about being independent, but they're still very dependent on their partners. So, just little things made me feel really boxed. In India, freedom, safety, and I feel like I just couldn't express myself the way I always felt. So I think that was basically the need. And then when I was 22, I made that decision. What about you?
Was that the sequence of events, or was there like a particular moment where you went?
It was not planned at all. I was just studying, and I saw that I could transfer my credits. And there were a few countries. I was like Ireland, England, or New Zealand. And then I'm like,
No brain.
well, I've never been to New Zealand, and neither have I heard. Like, I know New Zealand's a country. I don't know much about it. I don't know anyone there. I'm 22. If I don't make that, and I was 21 when I was making this decision, right? Like, if I have to make a decision that doesn't work, it's gonna be now. And then here I was, and it was
Straight.
funny, yeah, because I told my dad, hey, by the way, I want to go to New Zealand, and he's like, okay, for a holiday, and I'm like, no, just but really thankful for the support. So
100%.
9 years later, still here and still home. This is home.
This is home.
How about you? How did you?
Very similar stories, right? We are women in a space that, whether we like it or not, is quite patriarchal. And I came from a family that was a bit of both, or one part of my family was progressive, and the other part of my family was still traditional or conservative.
Yeah, and the society in general.
In the society in general. So, I've always said when I was born, I don't think I was meant to be born a girl. I think I was always meant to be born a boy, but that had nothing to do with gender as such, more like gender in society in terms of privileges in
And
society
freedom, right?
and the freedom.
The right to be able to even speak your mind.
Exactly, and the right to do what you want without having to justify yourself. And that was something that I found quite stifling as I was growing up. And I just knew that was probably not the place for me to be. I did not know where my place would be, but
Do you now?
yeah, I think I know now. But being in a place for 12 years without thinking I need to move away, I think
Teaches you
it teaches you things. Become undergrad, made a set of friends that thought the same way that I did. And then once I finished, or rather when it was my last semester, it's time to think about what you do for your future. And I knew I did not want to work in an IT or a software firm there. And then slog my ass off to get a bigger salary for something I didn't even like. It's not like that was my passion. Problem was I didn't know what my passion was. So I thought, okay, well, I need to get away from this. I need to get away from the shackles of being told what to do by others all the freaking time.
Yeah, your life basically being guided by
Everyone
a rule
else.
book, right?
Yep. Yeah. By everyone else, where you just follow what everyone else has, their dreams, their hopes, but then where your life is constantly under a microscope and open to judgment all the time.
And you can't really be yourself.
Exactly. So it was me and one of my best friends. We were both in the same path in our lives, and then we just opened, list of countries once, and we saw New Zealand, and we saw how obviously how beautiful it is, and that was it. That was my mind made, and I went to my dad and I said, "I know you want me to stay here, but I think I want to go abroad, and I want to go to New Zealand."
At least you did that. You saw how pretty it was. I was like, I'm gonna go not knowing anything. So whatever I know, I'm just gonna try not know.
My memory of New Zealand was primarily from the movie Kaho Na Pyar Hai.
I haven't even seen that movie. So
That was my memory. So I've seen Queenstown. And then I remember I had this notebook, which the picture was of Rope Hoover taken from Taupo. It was stunning. And that picture, and it was the classmate notebook that we used to get back then.
Oh,
and they had
that's
these beautiful one-liners.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's so.
And they had like these one-liners on there, and
Yeah.
and essentially very beautifully put in hindsight. It talks that the note on that was it's saying like don't be safe on the shore, like sail away with the winds, dream, explore.
Very Kiwi.
It's very Kiwi and very it was I think it was just meant to be.
Meant to be, yeah.
I think somewhere I manifested it, and then I came here and fell in love with the place. Yep. To be fair, when I came here, I did not intend to live here. I just intended to be here for a couple of years, finish my studies, and then figure out what to do. But fell in love with the place, fell in love with everything the country had to give me, and well, it's been 12 years since. So,
Going back in those days, like when you were still deciding, New Zealand. How did your parents react when you said?
my mom was very supportive. She was like, absolutely, go for it. I think my dad had dreams that I would still be at home with them. So it was shook him up a little bit, but then once he was like, yep, there's no stopping my daughter. Oh, he would not let me change my mind after that. He was like, nope, you're going, and that's that.
Did you have any cold feet before coming?
Excitement more like it. I think it was more like a new chapter, and it was a chapter that I was really looking forward to. It's a change that you're excited for, so you're looking forward to. And
for the first time in your life, at that time at least, you were just going to live by yourself.
Yep.
Your responsibility was now yours.
pretty much.
Right?
And
You are your own responsibility.
pretty much, yeah. And none of the, do things yourself tasks really scared me much because, working parents. Ultimately, I was babysitting my brother since I was 9 years old. So, everything that you had to do by yourself, I was doing anyway.
So I can't say that for myself. I'm very inspired by her. But I grew up in a joint family of 17 people, and I was the oldest daughter, all boys, and I was thoroughly and that's the word I would use. So I really didn't do much. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna figure it out. How hard it's gonna be.
You did pretty well.
Yeah, I did. A few mishaps, a few near miss kitchen fires. Didn't know how to change a light bulb. YouTube. How do you change a light bulb?
YouTube.
What? You did. Fun fact. She learned how to drive. You're not endorsing it.
Yeah,
By the way, you're not endorsing
YouTube.
She learned.
It's YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is a savior. It really did. Really. Yeah. Speaking of doing everything on your own, what was the biggest reality check for you when you moved, obviously away, like kilometers away from home, to a place where neither of us knew anyone?
In terms of solely in terms of doing things, I feel like I was okay with most of it except cooking because I had never cooked properly and I was like, how hard's gonna be, right? And the next thing I know that I'm crying because I can't make Maggie. How do you do this? Why is it so hard? Why is it so like watery? I'm not used to this.
It's called soupy.
Yeah, so I think cooking, getting just, I feel like what 2 or 3 years I didn't cook. I would barely like somehow like assemble things. Very easy to do once from the supermarket. COVID is what, and her, is what taught me how to cook.
Oh, it was before that. I remember when I first met her, everything had garam masala in it.
That's
Everything.
So I had these two really kind guys in the hostel I was staying in, and they were like, "Okay, we're going to show you how to cook because you can cook basic things." I'm like, "Yes, please." And I remember coming to the deal with them that I'm going to do all the cleaning, but please cook for me. And then they were used to teach me as well. So everything just had lots of oil, and onion garlic. Yeah, so. I think cooking was the hard part, like trying to figure that out. And that also, cooking is not something I innately enjoy. Like, yes, now I do cook pretty well, I would say, but it's not something, it's my passion or anything like that. I love food. Food is my passion, but yeah,
Not the making,
not
which is fair. As we've grown older, we also don't have time
time to do it.
It makes it harder.
That's if I had time to do it, I absolutely think I would enjoy it. But again, that makes me give us like so much respect to our mothers.
100%. Like, we had working moms and their kids to cook every day, make sure
And,
they
like,
were fed, go to work, come back, try to
take care
spend
of the
time with
family,
us,
that's
take
so
care of the
much.
family.
Yeah.
I can't even deal with taking care of myself.
Tell me about
No, they didn't.
You're gonna find out how we're taking care of ourselves.
Oh, yeah. How we've survived so far. It was easier when we were living together.
Yeah.
We'd enable each other, but there would be days when she'd be like, "No, we support each other."
It would know. So I remember there was one particular day. Okay, so the day before that, we were like, okay, you know what? We have to be good. We'll cook. We're not gonna eat out. And we just. I remember coming to your room. I just looked at her, and then she's like, "Sandrika, let's go." There went a really, really like headstrong decision of being good and cooking.
Those decisions. We were surprised it even lasted a day. We were really
did
good for
last
1.5 days.
But again, this is now moving from, I guess, living in another country to talking about food.
Which
I
we
know
always
will.
do.
Yeah.
Always segue into food.
So moving back, away,
Moving back
moving
to how
away
we
from.
moved away from our home.
So, initially, what was like one thing you found really hard, and one thing that you just it was easy, like both.
Easy. I think, as I said, because I knew most part of just taking care of myself, it didn't. None of that surprised me. Like, you knew taking public transport, movement, and just food, washing, whatever, chores in general, just kind of came in easily. I think the harder part was being away from family the times like when you're sick or something like that, because something we're so used to at home. When you're sick, they're just there. I had tonsillitis the first time ever, so I didn't even know it was tonsillitis. And I was putting up with the pain, parents being away, and the sense of community here is not as much as it is back home. So at that point is when you see the pros and cons of having people constantly looking at you all the time. And also the importance of having a few people, like friends or family who are with you all the time. I think that was probably the hardest part, like the real life realization that there is a drawback to not having people around you all the time.
Yeah, and not having, I guess, that safe space or backbone, whatever you call it, right? To fall.
Exactly. We were incredibly lucky though, in that sense, because we knew our parents would have taken us back in a heart, which I know many people do. So we were just very stubborn and wanted to stay on.
100%. My mom was not happy that I moved initially.
I forgot my movie. Community? Falling sick?
Yeah, falling sick. No,
Don't remember.
having that bag, having the safe space. But yes, what you were talking about is we were very.
Yeah, we were just privileged because we knew staying over here was a choice. If we needed to go back at any given time, we easily could have. Our parents would have welcomed us with open arms. They would have been like, "Yep, you've tried. You can come back."
Your dad would be happy, and my mom would be happy.
Yeah, I think at that point, yeah, they were very vocal that it ultimately is a choice, and there was no pressure, right? Like, we had that pressure on ourselves that we've come this far. Money has been spent on our education, and it's only right
I
that we
think
get a
that,
job and then
yes.
we do it.
Also-
But then we knew there was always some sort of a choice that our parents, not some sort, we definitely
We
had a
knew
choice.
that you
Failed safe, we could have easily gone back home and not faced any judgment from our parents. They would have welcomed us
Yes,
with our
yeah,
open arms. And the fact that we knew we could do that, I think, has helped us even more
Yeah.
because
See,
we were not
yeah,
desperate,
and
which
it's actually
aware.
a very privileged place.
It is
to
a
be,
very
and
privileged
so
point.
I'm obviously grateful about for it. But I know that if I went back, my mom would be really, really happy. That dad, he'd be like, of course he would support me.
Yeah.
I know, I always know that he's there.
Yep.
But he really wanted me to be here, and I don't know if it's because he wanted me to like make a life of my own, or is it because he wanted to come and visit New Zealand because he loves the country so much.
Knowing uncle, it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. He wanted his little darling princess to have, like, set everything on her own, like make her own mistakes, learn everything
Yeah.
herself. But use that as an excuse to come
come
and travel.
I know, and to do these hikes which I can't do.
Oh, he's so fit. And then there's us wheezing in. We didn't even walk from the car to here.
Yeah, and my dad we walk Royce Peak, which is a really steep hike, and I was like, yeah, I didn't even know what I'm going for. I just took a bottle of water and I walked up. I saw people taking poles, but I think it was fine. Like, you should be living in Turkey.
I swear. That's how you know you're your father's daughter, because at the end of the day, you chose New Zealand also as a reason to come and travel. So,
Yeah, I feel like it's so important to be uncomfortable. Because I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love being here, maybe the first few months is obviously like you're trying to figure everything out. But that feeling of being uncomfortable, and I know from the beginning, I know I love it. And there was never a thought that I wanna go back. Yes, I didn't know that New Zealand's gonna be a place that I'm gonna be here for now 9 years. But I just love the fact because I found so much about myself. Like, I didn't know I surprised myself in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know I could do so many things, and I'm like, wow. And now that I look back, and I'm like, you've done a good job.
you know, right? Like, sometimes maybe the weeds, we never thought at that point it's such a big deal to move because everyone does it. But when you look back at our 22-year-old selves, we have to commend the courage because we, in fact, chose a place where we knew no one. We came over here, we set everything up on our own fronts. Yes, we had support from our family, but that was very much emotional after one point. Because it's not like we could just call our parents and they would drop everything and come.
100%.
Um,
And a lot of the times, and I know you're the same, so I'm not just speaking for myself here. You also wouldn't, like, there were so many things that happened in my life / your life,
Yeah.
like, separately, this was before we even met each other.
Mm.
And I know a lot of times I wouldn't call my parents
Yeah.
and tell them because I'm like, why worry them?
why worry them?
That's another thing.
I think it really fed into the whole hyper-independent women that we already were, but now it's fed into it, so now we're even more hyper-independent.
It's really
Is it
hard
a good thing or a bad thing?
I think so. Tell us in the comment section.
Okay, 2 comments. And that's weird.
It's fine. Right.
You know what they say? You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be cheerleaders.
Hype each other up, and in this case, us, right? Like,
If you see 2 accounts, it's probably just us.
no, we'll have 2 more. Our partners.
It's just us that accounts.
5. 4 of us. But, so, one thing I want to ask, do you recommend everyone in their 20s to move?
100%. And they absolutely can. I would say 100%. It does not have to be a different country. It can be different cities. I think it is so important to just be away from your usual surroundings to try and learn more about yourself, like who you are without everyone you grew up with, and see how you shape, yeah, like how your thoughts shape, your personality gets shaped, or everything else. Because we know we've grown completely different to how many people we grew up with do. Not saying it's a
100%.
good or bad thing.
Yeah, and now I feel like so many people again, not a good or bad thing. I just have different life stories, and it's just hard to relate in a lot of ways as well. And that's another harsh truth, right? I feel like of moving is that sometimes you feel alienated in the country you're living. And I'm not saying like, of course, a little bit, yes, sure you do. We're very comfortable here, but when you go back, it's again the
Feel like an
relatability.
outsider. Yeah,
So that is definitely
it's an interesting place.
yeah.
Like it's home, but then
But
it's not exactly home. But this is now our home,
Our home,
because
yes.
we've made our life over here as young adults. So it's our roots, our preferences, and it's great when our family come and visit, because then it supplements it. But it's something we made on our own as much as possible, independently. So I think it's something to be really proud of, and everyone I think needs to experience it if they can.
Yeah. If you're listening and you're thinking about it, I think this might be your
Go for it.
yeah.
It is a lot easier in your 20s to make friends than it is after that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I feel like after I met you, I was like, do I
I became
want to
lazy.
make it? I don't think I have time. It's not even about like work or something else. My time, I'm just like, break up.
The number of people I've cancelled on, especially when we were living together.
Oh,
We
that
were
was
spending
bad.
every waking minute together, and I would still cancel on people because I'm like, hey, comfortable.
But here we're talking about moving away from comfort, which is why moving to another country really
100%. And we've been big believers.
and
We've been big believers of friends being more family too. Like, we're not people who believe in blood is thicker than water, so it gives you an opportunity to choose people who you choose as family and who you know are going to be with you. And I think there's something beautiful about finding friendship, especially female friendship, women, in our adulthood, and like growing with each other.
And have that real connection where there's no jealousy, and
Exactly.
really cheering for each other. Yeah. Which is very rare, and knowing that you have someone.
Yep.
And because of getting dark and starting to drizzle, we have
The lighting is pretty
and see I need my device. Anyway, so we're gonna start this rapid fire, which I haven't read, so I'm just gonna give it to you so you can ask. We're both gonna ask.
cool. Advice and hot takes.
I don't
Okay.
think you should take advice from
Knowing all that is actually knowing all that you have based on what we've learned so far in the past. If, let's say, you've gone back in time, would you do it all over again?
100%. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Do you think this whole experience is overrated or underrated?
Very
Underrated.
I think more and more people should. Again, like she said, doesn't have to be another country, but if you can even go to another city, stay by yourself for even a few months. It really teaches so much about yourself.
Yep. Oh, one word to describe yourself the day you landed versus today.
Hopeful. I was excited, hopeful.
Yeah.
And now I'm very comfortable. Content. Grateful.
Oh, great. I was going to say tired because that's what we are all the time now.
Well, that's because we're not 30.
What would I say? I think innocent. I think we're hopeful even now. We're always
Yeah.
hopeful, but innocent. This is do-eyed wonder, but innocent. And today, I think it's confident with where we are.
Yeah.
Think your younger self totally got wrong about moving abroad.
Finger. Oh.
Moving to Atara.
What did
I get wrong?
that is gonna be really, really rosy, which I don't think in every bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we thought it was going to be like how they show in the movies.
I was like, oh, it's a Karan Johar movie. So it's not gonna be that.
Oh man, he's ruined our mind.
Should we just do one more question because
Yes.
it's starting to
Rain, it's getting late. Something from home you've held on to no matter what.
those connections. I'm not gonna say anything with like physically materialistic, but I think the connections is what takes
Yep.
me with it. Like,
100%, I agree with you. I think when we move, we always try to, never to diss particular place, obviously, but then you always take the best that both places had to offer, and we're lucky to have two homes in a sense and two
And-
amazing things that we can pick from
Yeah.
there. And I value, the support and the set of connection you get there, and
absolutely
the unwavering or unconditional love that you get from your parents or some
from your
parents.
parents.
There's a lot to unpack with that. But in general, I think that.
And your sibling.
Exactly.
In most cases, again, at least in our case, we
Yeah.
can say
Okay, we'll do one more because I really like this question. Would the 22-year-old you be proud of you now?
very.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like there's so much I want to do
Yep.
and always like not satisfied.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. Same thing. 22-year-old me, I don't think she even knew what okay. I don't think she felt so far away. No, but 12 years on, I think she'll be very proud of everything that she achieved.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it sometimes, but back.
And think about it and
Yeah.
just remember that how much you've actually achieved. Also, it's
Gratitude
raining.
always.
So we're
The lights of it.
and for some reason, alrighty. Okay, so we will see you guys. Have a nice day.